PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PACTV Community News. We have a great show tonight with stories from the South Shore. And be sure to stay tuned after this episode because our new show, PCN Life, is premiering.
This week on PCN, we bring you to the long table dinners at the Hedge House, and we stop into another great community garden out at Algonquin Heights in Plymouth.
We check out Kingston's annual Night Out event, meet a world champ qualifying arm wrestler from Pembroke, and get a close-up of the Stanley Cup when it visited Duxbury.
PCN heads to Whitman Hanson High School this week for the graduation of the Plymouth County Drug and Alcohol Resistance Summer Program, which had hundreds of people in attendance.
Pet adoption takes us to Kingston to meet a new pet in need of a forever home, and Town Talk is from Pembroke.
It's a full show, and we start things off in Kingston. Over 30 years ago, the National Association of Town Watch started the annual tradition of a national night out. It's there that people of the town get a chance to meet members of the law enforcement community, as well as many other first responders. The town of Kingston has been taking part in this event nearly every year since its inception, so we caught up with one of the organizers to get some details.
This is National Night Out. Kingston celebrates it every year for the last 10 years that I've been here, but I believe it's been 30 years in the making. And what it is a community event where we invite people, vendors, and public safety officers from Kingston and other area towns. I've put in 50 hours for like the last 3 weeks trying to collaborate this event, to get vendors, to bring everybody in, contacting other local police departments, other agencies, seeing who's willing to volunteer their time to come here. I had to book the jumpy houses, the face painters. I also have civic groups here. I also have a lot of politicians. This is an election year, so of course they want to get their face out there also and to be a part of the community. We're trying to make it for the community to have a night out, to see the police officers and get to know the community. We also have some games for the kids, the jumpy houses, face painting, and we also invite local vendors, and local businesses so they can put their name and faces out there to meet the community. We have Homeland Security here. They actually brought their scanning vehicle, so what they do, X-ray machine, when they scan containers that come into port. We also have motorcycle shows. They're going to be showing how they maneuver and riding. And we're also going to be having a canine demonstration to show how someone is apprehended by a police officer, and also when they seize a vehicle if they're searching for drugs. The things that I have here, the jumpy houses, the face painter, the DJ, the food, that some of that money is raised by donations, but we have a raffles, and that helps fund this event year after year, so we can bring this big event to the community for free. You come here and everything's for free. You get your face painted for free. You can ride a pony. You get a hamburger and a hot dog, some potato chips and a soda. It's all free. This Kingston community, the people, the employees of the town, the public safety, we're there for you. And we're trying to do the right thing, spread the message. And everything's free, and we hope everybody has a great time, and we welcome everybody to the community and want to see what Kingston's all about and what we can offer.
Thanks in part to some help from the Terra Cura Group, the Algonquin Terrace apartment complex in Plymouth has a beautiful garden with fruits and vegetables that can be grown and harvested quickly. So far, it's been a great chance for kids and adults to learn the art of gardening and enjoy the fruits of their labor. We stopped by one of their meetings and got a look at their leafy greens.
Terra Cura is a nonprofit organization that was founded in November of 2014, and Terra Cura means land care. We utilize permaculture principles, which means land care, people care, fair share. And our goal is really to put as many community and school gardens as possible in our community and anywhere else. So we use permaculture principles, which means a whole system design. So if we're going to put an organic garden somewhere, we're going to try to put a composting system and also a water catchment or a rain barrel as well. So really connecting people back to nature, growing their own food, having them have access to organic produce. That's really what our goals are, and doing that really connects community to one another. So Algonquin Heights is an apartment complex in Plymouth, and we are very lucky to have the management support to put a community garden here. This allows people to come together in a different setting, have a neutral space where they can learn new things, work together, and actually grow produce. And the produce that's out there is all organic. It's going to allow them to bring it home and try it, taste it. We have a whole group of classes we're also providing here as well, so people can learn about growing their own food. And we're really lucky to have so many kids participating, and that's really the most important thing for us, is to have the kids be out in the garden with us. First of all, we built the beds, and we built the beds with their help, which I think is really important to note. So the kids were there helping install these beds, filling it with soil, adding amendments to it, and then they decided what to plant. So together with them, we planned the garden. So we have an awful lot of really good, healthy stuff. Tons of tomatoes, lots of herbs, lots of basil. We have eggplants, we have strawberries. The strawberry plants were really important to the kids because we had a lot of meetings that they came to. So they wanted strawberries so they can make smoothies. So it's really, I think, great for them to see the plants start, actually bear fruit, and then make something with them. So all good stuff out there. Right now, they're out there harvesting, and harvesting is a big part of what we do. So if you're gonna go out and harvest the herbs, the basil, the lettuces grow really quickly, you can take them home. So this group is a gardening group, and they share whatever they harvest, which is great. So they don't rent plots, it's a whole community garden where they all work together and they all share the harvest. So you want fast-growing stuff that you can take away and bring to your kitchen. This project for us is just really wonderful to see a group of people who may or might not have known each other come together for a common goal and common project. So we're just really pleased that building community has come so easily here, and people really have embraced this project, and I think it's making a difference in their lives.
Plymouth County's DARE program celebrated its 22nd annual summer program. 5th and 6th graders from 20 communities in Plymouth County take part in the week-long camp, and we stop by for the week's closing ceremonies.
This is the 22nd annual Plymouth County District Attorney's Drug Camp. It's an education camp, is really what it is. And what we do, and what we're doing this year, we have 20 towns of the 27 out of Plymouth County that are here, that have provided resources, have provided school resource offices, and they each bring a group of kids with them from their respective towns, and they're put into Olympic teams and they have a really good and a fun time. Play all sorts of sports. They're in a situation where they get all sorts of activities done for them, lunch is provided. And you know, at the same time, they learn the things that are really important nowadays, which is dealing with a lot of the issues that are out there, being accountable, being responsible, making sure that you're making a good decision-making process, saying no to violence, drugs, alcohol, nicotine, the things that are out there. And what it is really it's an opportunity, I think, for the kids from all over our county to come meet some police officers, meet some new kids, have some new friends, and at the end of the day, have a free week of camp and have everything provided for them. The response has been incredible. It gets bigger every single year. This year, including students, junior peer leaders, who are lots of the kids who graduated from students, and also our peer leaders who also took the next step. We have more than 600 kids here. And really, it's a very impressive thing, and I think that I really congratulate the school resource officers, the police chiefs, people from my office that work really hard here, and they really do take this controlled, organized chaos and make it all come together in a really fun, safe environment for the kids. And you know, lots of these kids are at risk. They come from challenging backgrounds, and they wouldn't have this week but for all the donations from a variety of different companies that give us Chinese food on Wednesdays, McDonald's, we have hamburgers on Thursdays, submarine sandwiches today, all donated from a variety of different businesses around Plymouth County. So it's a real community event, I think, and it's something that the kids, I think our kids need it, and I think that they enjoy it.
It's an anti-drug message that underlies the whole basis of the camp. But it is so much more than that. It's a team building exercise, it's a friendship building exercise, it's an opportunity for these kids to learn that the kids in the other towns here in Plymouth County are very much like them, facing those same issues. I hope many of these kids we'll see again next year. I hope some of these kids, some of the older kids, will be coming back as peer leaders to help the kids that are behind them in a way of paying it forward. But at the bottom, at the base of this, I think this week was a lot of fun, and that's really what underlies everything.
That was a lot of people. So all those shots that you saw in there, I had like about 5 or 10 minutes to get before the whole room was filled. And we're talking about aunts, uncles, cousins,
Right.
brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers from all over the place.
Extended families of all these kids. What a great idea, and to get them before they go into junior high. And to see the towns sharing the same common denominators, which is, you always have competition with the town next to you, right, or the town down the way. It's good that they have this to draw them together, and what a positive, wonderful program, and congratulations to all of them. Do it again. This next story fits in nicely with all the Olympic pride this week. Robert Belay is not your average fitness trainer. He does everything to the max, whether it's writing for fitness magazines or running death races. Just about anything and everything he puts his mind to. With a superhuman work ethic and an easygoing personality, Robert has trained in only 1 year to qualify to represent the United States in the Arm Wrestling World Championships in Hungary this October. PCN met up with this pleasant fellow to learn more about what it takes to compete on the world stage.
I would say that I am that type B personality, rise to the occasion type A personality. I've always been enthralled with success since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to do things that most other people can't do. I have this really weird energy in me that just, when I see the elite of a circle, I want to get into the elite circle. No matter what it is, I always want to say I'm in the top 10% of everyone who does something. So in the sport of arm wrestling, it's one of the oldest sports that's ever existed, obviously, because it's a simple sport in the sense of, it's simplistic in nature, much like soccer. All you need is a ball, or football. You just need a ball on the floor to kick around. With arm wrestling, you just need an arm. So you just go to a table and you put your arm against someone else, and you either move left or right. And if you go to the side that's your palm up, you're going to lose. And if you go palm side down, you're going to win. And it's pretty much as simple as that. It's a lot more cerebral. It's the most cerebral sport I've ever played in my entire life, and I played a lot of sports. And literally, we call it the fastest. It's referenced as the fastest sport or human sport in the world because the match lasts a 1/10 to a 1/4 of a second. So it's go and it's over. And that's going slow, but that's still less than a second. So it's so fast, and there's angles. It's about physics. It's almost like playing chess with your mind against someone else, because when you actually grab someone else's hand, there are at least a minimum 3 different grip styles, and you have to figure this all out within like 2 seconds. And then they say go, and you have to react, and Newton's 3 laws of motion, one of them, you have to be a reactive force greater or equal to that pressure or force in that angle, which you assume you think you know the angle, but that just tells you one side of the story. So it's definitely the most complicated sport I've ever played in my life. Basketball, it's fairly simple. You get the ball, you dribble, you can move around somebody, you pass, someone shoots, it scores, and you have plenty of opportunities to score. In arm wrestling, you get 2 losses, and you're out for the rest of the tournament. So, and there's an A bracket and a B bracket, and if you lose, you fall in the B bracket, you lose again, you're out of the tournament, and there goes $25, your day's over. And then there's the shoulder press or shoulder roll, or a flop press. So as an athlete, representing Team USA, it's been the ultimate goal for me since I was a small child. When I was a little kid, I fell in love with the Olympics, and I fell in love with Jim Thorpe and Jesse Owens, and from the early 1912, 1936, 30-something games, and then Mary Lou Retton from the 80s, like when we were when I was a little kid, and when I was a little kid, the 1984 games with Carl Lewis and Mary Lou Retton, and all these superstars, and I remember thinking, wow, this is so amazing. They say that Team USA is the pinnacle of all athleticism for our country. Nothing gets greater than that. There's nothing greater than representing your country and your flag, and it beats all pro sports, because pro sports, you're being paid to go to work. In the Olympics, you're literally willing it, and there's no payment with it. You're doing it because you want to do it. You love it so much. You're putting all those hours in. It's just the most amazing feeling, because you know that you're a world elite class level athlete, especially when you're a little kid and that's your strive, and you finally hit it. It feels great. It's a very nothing can beat that feeling. Like, it's something that I can't wait when I have children, that they'll be like, oh my God, Dad was a Team USA member.
Pittsburgh Penguins head coach Mike Sullivan was in Duxbury recently and brought along the Stanley Cup. Even though it wasn't won by our hometown, the Boston Bruins, this time, folks still piled into the Holy Family Catholic Church to get a view. When there's a line this size to get into a church, there's obviously something major going on inside. No one looks gloomy enough for it to be a funeral. I never heard anything about the Pope arriving. I do see a lot of sports jerseys and hats, and a glowing silver cup off in the distance. And while it may not be because the Boston Bruins won it and brought it here, it is the second time that the Stanley Cup has made an appearance here in the state of Massachusetts in the past 5 years. And for the hundreds of people that are lined out the door here at Holy Family Catholic Church in Duxbury, that's a pretty big deal. It's not every day that a professional hockey coach makes his way to the town of Duxbury, but Pittsburgh Penguins coach Mike Sullivan is no stranger to the South Shore. Born in Marshfield, Sullivan was a standout hockey player at BC High, Boston University, and enjoyed an 11-year NHL playing career. One of those years as a player was spent wearing a Bruins jersey, and 2 of his head coaching seasons were spent with the Bruins as well. So his local cred is actually pretty good. Maybe it's not such a surprise that he's here.
Well, my children were born and raised here. My wife and I, when we got married, we bought a house here early in our marriage, and we've settled our roots here. To us, Duxbury is our home. And you know, I think when you have an opportunity like I did to win the Stanley Cup, people don't achieve in life alone. It takes a lot of support and a lot of help along the way. And my family, first and foremost, has offered that for me. But also this community. We have a lot of close friends here and people that have supported us along the way, and this is our way of saying thanks.
With his connections here in town, it just made sense to bring the cup to his local church.
Holy Family means a lot to my family. This is our local parish. We've been coming to Mass here for years. It's a great opportunity, I think, for us to share the Stanley Cup with the residents of Duxbury and the neighboring towns.
And of course, seeing the cup up close is a thrill for the kids and adults, but mostly the kids.
I love to watch the kids and the emotion on their face when they get up close to it and they get an opportunity to touch it and see it up close and personal. You know, I think it's the hardest trophy in sports to win. I think the history of the Stanley Cup in and of itself has a certain allure that most trophies don't have. To have our team that's going to be engraved this year alongside some of the greatest players that ever played the sport brings chills to my body. It's quite an honor. It's certainly a hard trophy to win. This has been one of the highlights of my life.
Hopefully the next time the cup makes its way here to Massachusetts, it will be because the Bruins won it. Reporting from Duxbury, Brian Sullivan for PCN.
Just goes to show you how Boston fans are Boston fans. It doesn't matter if we didn't win, it's the cup, and our name is on there somewhere a few times.
That's right. I know. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, I wonder if they get this many people at a Sunday service. But yeah, there was a lot of people, right. A lot of kids, and tons of kids. They love it. They were like,
they do.
Yeah, they were giddy about it. It was awesome.
Good old hockey. Bruins next year. Let's do this. There are plenty of European traditions that, if practiced here in the United States, we may really enjoy. One of those traditions is eating with people that you've never met before. I know it sounds like a tall order, but when you give strangers a chance to sample several different types of beer that are paired with the fine dining, you'd be surprised how much these previous strangers find they have in common. We stopped by an event here in Plymouth called A Long Table, and we were able to witness it firsthand.
This is only the second one in a series, so we've started with the Long Table Dinner Series is what we're calling it. This is a great spot because it's historic, it's the waterfront, it's unique, but we have some other spots we're working on indoors to move them indoors for the winter, but we want to keep it really unique, a place where there hasn't been something like this before, so the experience is so extra special.
So a pop-up event is anything like this. It's a lawn that you wouldn't normally see an event, and we bring everything, the chef, the waitresses, and we set it up almost as if it's a restaurant, but it's outside or in warehouses and things like that.
We're using Chef Michael Morway, who is the head chef and owner at Nosh Tavern and also the owner of Craft Ship Catering in town. we're just friends and we like to help each other. So we're sort of helping each other out. You know, I'm helping Tatum by getting her involved with this store. She helps me by promoting the dinner. We both help Mike by, you know, using his business for this, and it gets exposure for him. I mean, he's the world bacon champion last year. So his year's not up, so he's still the reigning world bacon champion. So it's kind of neat to say you have the world bacon champion.
We wanted to support the Hedge House and the Antiquarian Society and what they're doing in terms of the restoration and holding on to the history. While downtown is growing, there's still this historic value. And you can't beat the view with the harbor right here. And it's a nice venue where there's not a lot of open space downtown. So we really wanted to support and wrap all those things together.
So we do 5 courses, 5 different beers with each dinner. So we got, it starts at a lighter, very light IPA, and then it just transcends down through a Saison, a brown ale, then a true German Hefeweizen, and then ends with a vanilla stout.
Generally, people are leaving with, they didn't know they liked beer. It's actually not a lot of beer people coming, it's more foodie people. And they find that beer is a whole different world for them. And they're also leaving. We had a couple that left, actually exchanged numbers, and now they're going out to dinners together. They've emailed us a few times. So it's really about bringing that culture together of what the European philosophy of being outside and talking.
We stopped into the Kingston Animal Shelter to meet some cute kittens up for adoption.
It seemed like kitten season in the cat room at the Kingston Animal Shelter, with 2 12-week-old baby boys and 2 young adult cats that appeared like kittens themselves. I arrived during their afternoon cat nap. One by one, they woke up to visit me. Warrior and Pirate are only 12 weeks old. Warrior has pointier ears, but other than that, they look alike. They're typical kittens, and they love snuggle time with their Aunt Spooky, a short-haired female cat who's shy at first, but after a few minutes, she nonchalantly came out to play. Their mother is Charlotte, a beautiful and very sweet-natured calico who loves to sleep, eat, and watch birds. They're all healthy, spayed and neutered, and up to date on all their shots. For more information about these and other animals available for adoption, contact the Kingston Animal Shelter directly by email at kaco1@comcast.net, or go online to petfinder.com and search for the Kingston Animal Shelter with zip code 02364.
Town Talk takes us to Pembroke Town Hall for an update.
Hi folks, this is Ed Thorne, Pembroke Town Administrator, giving you the latest update on activities for the town in the month of August. Number one, we had a meeting with the school committee the other day, and we'll be starting a revenue task force with members of the school committee, the Board of Selectmen, and some staff folks. We'll be looking at revenue sources for the town for the next several years. I believe one of the members of the school committee mentioned about a 3-year plan. And so we'll be looking at that. We'd like to have something in place for the October special town meeting. So we'll be hopping on board with that program ASAP. And a couple other projects that we'll be looking at for August and September. The Herring Run Park, we're looking at some improvements to make it more handicap accessible. Those will be trails and the bridge approaches that cross the Herring Brook itself. And so that'll be a project that we're looking at, hopefully to get some funding for the actual improvements at the fall town meeting. And then, of course, the VFW Boys Club building, which was funded by monies at the annual town meeting in the spring, will be going out to bid that particular project ASAP, and hopefully we'll have all that done, all those improvements to that building done, you know, in the next couple of months. That's a new roof, siding, and what have you. And then, of course, in the middle of town, we've got the Route 14 corridor project. Right now, basically, the contractor PA Landers is doing all of the drainage work first. That's why you see all these concrete structures on the side of the road. So they'll be putting those in. That's their first part of the project. We anticipate this project to last about 2.5 years. So we're just asking for the patience of everybody in the community that travels on Barker and Center Street into the middle of town and out towards the Hanson line. So that's our report for now, and looking forward to sharing some more information with you at a future presentation.
Thanks for watching PCN. Stay tuned because the premiere of PCN Life is up next. It's the launch of our new spin-off, which highlights more of our lifestyle pieces and longer segments with our studio guests.
You can find both shows on PACTV's website and YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for previews and links.
PCN Life is coming up right after the closing credits. Enjoy.